Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you how to change the oil on a 2021 Chevy Traverse. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, this is the V6, the 3.6 liter. Your oil choice is super important for a couple of things. So you need to get 5W30 because that's what's recommended. You need to make sure that it's Dex OS right there. This is Gen 2. The manual says at least Gen 1. If you look on the back, it specifically says for General Motors Dex OS 1. This is Gen 2. So everyone's going to argue about what brand is best and all this and that back and forth. The most important thing is that you consistently change your oil. Don't blow off oil changes. Don't reset the oil thing on the car just because you don't want to do an oil change. The most important thing is changing your oil when it's needed. So Chevy had some good designs here and some bad. The good is that you don't actually have to, if you're skinny enough, you don't actually have to jack up the car to get under to where the bolt is for the oil pan. So if you go under the front here, you can see it right there. It's a little 15 millimeter bolt right on the oil pan. So essentially the first thing you're going to do, go ahead and loosen that. Set up an oil pan underneath. Because of how it's angled, it's going to shoot out towards you, towards the camera here. So make sure that you appropriately set up your oil pan to catch all that and you don't make a mess. So go ahead and loosen that. Again, it's a 15 millimeter bolt, and then let it drain out all of the oil. So you're going to keep letting it drain. It takes a long time. I'd wait until it's more dripping than that. I mean, it'll drip for 24 hours if you're to leave that drain plug off. So go ahead, once it's down to dripping, you can basically take a paper towel and wipe it real quick and put the plug back in and then tighten it down. I don't have a torque spec on it, but don't over tighten it because you do not want to strip this and have to go through that whole mess. So once it's done draining or down to a drip, go ahead and clean it up and put that plug back on. So this was the part that Chevy had designed easy. It was super easy to get to the oil drain plug right at the front there without lifting it. Here's the part where it's stupid. Here is where the oil filter is and where you'll take it off. So try to position your oil pan as best as you can down there. I'll give you some tips after I take the filter off and kind of see where it all drains to. So you can pull it from up here. I'll see if I can get it by hand. This is the original factory one, so I might need a tool, and if I do, I'll show you that, just because they tend to put them on pretty tight from the factory. So next, go ahead and take that off. You could drop it onto your oil filter, or your oil pan down there, or you can try to, bring it back up. It's super important though when you do this. I mean, I just moved my car because I have a little step here. I just moved it from here to here, and that was probably 30 minutes ago. And this is the exhaust right here. Here's your O2 sensor. Here's the exhaust. It still feels slightly warm. It's above like the temperature of the plastic right here, which didn't get warm at all from moving it. So you absolutely cannot do this if you've driven this vehicle anytime recently. It's just going to be too hot and you're going to burn your hand. So go ahead and remove the oil filter next. So I am going to have to use a special oil filter tool. I just couldn't get the leverage down there. So anyways, you basically just put it on and it allows you to twist it just a bit. A little bit at a time. That's probably loose enough already to where I can get it off by hand. So you'll need something like this. Just make sure that you use it properly and twist it the correct way. To the left, if you're standing from the top here, you need to twist counterclockwise. So go ahead and get that oil filter off next. It's not too bad. I got a little on the oil stick on the way up. So I got a little bit down there. So I'll probably put the new oil filter on and go ahead and clean all that up. So go ahead and clean it up as best as you can. Check the new oil filter, make sure it's the right size and everything on the old one. couple of tricks and tips for putting an oil filter on. I always like to take a bit of oil and to basically grease up this rubber lining here. For one, you need to make sure that the old one came with, because I've heard of it happening. I personally haven't had it happen, but these rubber rings here can stick onto your car instead of coming with the oil filter. So by putting just a dab of oil on here, will prevent that next time you take that off. So go ahead and do that. Also, what you can do, which really isn't too bad of an idea, is you can put a little bit of the new oil into here, just so that it's not a dry start, and put that on. Just be careful you don't obviously dump it out while you put it on. The nice thing with that is that this car, the 6-cylinder, takes 6 quarts. So it's real easy. If you just buy a 5 quart and a 1 quart, right there, you don't have to measure it out or anything. Makes it real easy. So go ahead and get this all cleaned up and put that oil filter on, and I'll show you how to tighten it down next. So one of the things I didn't mention is that reaching down here to clean up, you kind of need to be tall. Otherwise you might need a step ladder of some kind, because I've had to lean over, and I'm pretty tall and I got long arms, so I can reach, but realizing a shorter person might have a hard time with this. You're definitely going to get dirty. I mean, I guess you can't see it that well with all the light, but a bunch of dust and stuff all over my arm. So anyways, once you have it all cleaned up to your satisfaction, you'll go ahead and put that oil filter on. And as you can see, I don't even have it hand tight yet. So basically you go until right there, about right there is what I'd consider hand tight. And now you're going to turn it 3/4 of a turn past that. So about right where it catches. You can see us spinning it real easy. And then it's right about there that it catches. So I usually just do a 1/4 turn. It's much easier to track, and you just do 3 of them. So you'll just turn it, 1/4 of a turn, another 1/4 of a turn, and one more 1/4. And that's basically how tight you need to put these oil filters on. So go ahead and tighten that down next. So with the oil filter tightened down, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove my oil pan underneath, and I'm going to clean up underneath, because as you can see, there's still some oil spots under there that I would like cleaned up, just to prevent extra dirt from getting everywhere and keep it cleaner overall. So go ahead and do that next. By the way, my cap was on there super tight. You could see that bit there, and there's a little notch on the bottom there. Basically has to go in like that, and then it's just a single turn like that. Yeah, I had to really yank mine off, and almost lost it down in there. So this part's easy. Just go ahead, use a funnel and fill it up with 6 quarts if you have a 6-liter. So go ahead and do that next. So one of the final things you're going to do is you're going to get in your car, you're going to turn it on, and you really only need to run it for a couple of seconds. I'm running it a little longer. And then I'm going to get out and I'm going to check the fluid level to make sure that I have the correct amount of oil. It should be, because you just have that 6 quarts that you put in. It's pretty easy to do if you specifically buy 6 quarts. And then you will need to reset your change oil. I still have my hood open. Basically, you'll rotate through until you're click over to vehicle here, over to oil. I think it's the top one there. And you're just going to hold down the check mark. Yes, I want to reset. Easy as that. So now it's reset. So that is how you change the oil and the oil filter on a 2021 Chevy Traverse. Hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for watching.